Oh, boy. What a weekend it's going to be in college and pro football. It's what we live for, my friends. 6. Count them 6 matchups of ranked teams for us today, where I guarantee you one team will be exposed as a fraud. A fraud! Then, on Sunday, the NFL takes center stage with some fantastic matchups and a few must-wins. And oh, yeah, as always, and in great demand, Seminole Bill and my locks of the week, all coming your way right here on the Marc Loyd Show. Let's make it rain.
It's me, Marc Loyd. The Marc Loyd is actually talking to the rock.
Marc Loyd.
Has his man wide open. That's Bailey at the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Mario Bailey.
Marc Loyd.
What do we want as a sports fan? Huh? What do we want?
Marc Loyd.
Have you had any water today?
There's water in my lemonade.
There you go. So I'm not a huge fan of vegetables. Okay, so how can I eat some? Just blend them up.
Sit back, relax, and let this guy do all the thinking for you. Marc Loyd.
Welcome, one and all, to another edition of the Marc Loyd Show. It's jam-packed as always. It's funny how I like to talk in third person. Ever since my WWE days, I talk in third person, and they taught me also never to use pronouns in the word I. How about that? Actually, they yelled at me when I used I one time. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. That's Seminole Bill right there.
Hello, folks.
Eric's over there as well, spinning the music and running things. Eric?
Hello, Orlando.
That's right. Hello, Orlando. And you know what? It's good to be back on the air here in Orlando. I think it's been 10 years when I used to do the Drive Time show. About 10 years ago.
10 years?
Yeah, 10 or 12 years ago before I left for World Wrestling. They used to call me the Freak, Marc Loyd. Now I'm just going by Marc Loyd. I've evolved. Is that okay, Seminole Bill?
It's all right. You're still a freak.
No. Okay. I won't debate with you on that one. But it is. It's good to be back on the air in Orlando. We'll come at you each and every week right here on NBC Sports Talk 1080, the team from 10 to 11. And it's good to let them join the Marc Loyd Show family, right? Another affiliate added to us.
We're really happy about this. Good to be back on down in O-Town.
And you know what? We have so much to talk about, I should say. And last week, before we were on the air here, but last week on our show, we were saying that, it's important, or it was at the time of year that you could start, I guess, forming some educated opinions in the world of college football and also the NFL. So we have a whole bunch of things to get to, but before we get into this upcoming week, which is going to be fantastic in college football, and also the NFL with a lot of intriguing matchups, let's just recap. It's our first chance to recap about what happened last week in college football. And it's interesting how you can see teams that are, yes, I could see them contending. Yes, I could see them making that Final Four, for the playoffs, which everybody's gunning for. Real quick, Seminole Bill, right at your heart, the Florida State versus NC State game. Quick reaction.
Whoa.
That's very quick.
The first quarter went by. I'm like, wow, I thought we did that to Virginia one year. But, man, just didn't think we were out of it. Just, wow, what happened there?
Yeah, just, and I think it's the defense, no doubt, the defense looked lost. No doubt about it. Missing, it's like they're missing some direction and some leadership from last year. And the tackling is just awful. There's no excuse for the tackling. So I think that, they're a little out of control. The talent's there, obviously. Yep. Everybody knows that. The talent's there on the defensive side of the ball for Florida State. The positive that you could take away from the game is you won, and that's what it's all about, right? Winning. Right. No doubt about that.
Just win, baby.
And with Winston at quarterback, the offense is unstoppable. You could debate me till you're blue in the face, whoever you're a fan of. It doesn't matter. The offense is unstoppable, and they will only get more and more lethal as some of the younger receivers start coming of age and then start. So now you can line up, 5 guys that are go-to guys out there. Right now there's 2 in Green, Wilson, at 3, and O'Leary. You can throw it in there, but you get a Rudolph, you get an Erman Lane, playing. And they're going to get better and better. The offensive line, I think the jury's still out on. They should be a lot better than they are, but they did better than they did the week before. So you have to see if they continue to grow.
Yeah, that's going to come along. It really is. It's work in progress.
Also, another state team from last week, the Canes. just god-awful against Louisville. But then they come back and they play an undefeated Duke team, which I was laughing because Duke, even though they're undefeated, even though they're defending coastal champions or whatever the side of the division they won last year before they met in the ACC championship game against Florida State and lost. But still, they're undefeated, not even ranked.
Yeah,
not even ranked. It's such a joke, the bias for the SEC. It just is. I mean, if Vanderbilt was 4-0, trust me, they would be ranked.
Of course.
Missouri loses at home to a sorry Indiana team who just lost this past weekend, and Missouri is ranked 25th after beating South Carolina.
Yep.
Who's South Carolina? But they're ranked. But Duke wasn't. But the positive for the Canes is they won the game. You know what I mean? They won the game. Duke Johnson looked good. The quarterback is starting to come of age a little bit. I don't think they're by any means a really good team. But it was nice for them to get a victory against an undefeated Duke team.
Yeah, they needed that. And again, one day, Duke, and they'll get some respect, besides basketball.
Yeah, one day, possibly. I think maybe if they joined the SEC, they'd be a top 25 team.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Right? They'd at least get that.
Go Dukies.
All right, Seminole Bill, let's jump to the NFL. I mean, because we have a lot to get to today. But last week we spoke to Rick Ballou, the sideline reporter for the Jacksonville Jags.
Right.
Jaguars went out to San Diego, got blasted. But that's okay. Because I think when you're a fan of any team, if there's hope, hope puts a smile on your face. Am I right?
Yeah.
Even
absolutely.
in sports, even if you lose. I'm not talking about moral victories.
Right.
But when Blake Bortles is out there, UCF boy, as everybody knows, he just looks like he's an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Not necessarily just physically, but it just looks like that. Even though he throws an interception, it wasn't like just, he's lost.
No.
He's playing a game. And to me, it gives hope for the Jags because there's a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. There's a lot of talent on that team. The defense is as bad as Dallas was last year. I mean, they're just lost. I mean, Rick Ballou last week was saying that, there's going to be some changes. He was also mentioning that they needed to just mind their assignments. Somebody's always, they're still all over the place, which is a shame.
Yeah.
It really is because it's not giving the Jags offense any chance. They're always playing catch up from the get-go. Also in the NFL, how about all? No. I was about to say all three teams. All two teams played well in the state. The Dolphins, all kinds of controversy going on during the week, right? With Tannehill, Philbin, the coach, doesn't like the guy. Who knows? It just seems like that Philbin just needs to go away. Right. Tannehill is not going away. I think Tannehill is a good quarterback, and he was on fire this past week over in London. Yeah, which is kind of cool.
Jolly good.
Yeah, jolly good. They did a fantastic. Tannehill played well. The team played well. They blew out the Raiders, who, they're so bad, the Raiders, that you just it's not even fun anymore, and it's a shame. I can't believe how bad you can draft. Like how consistent they are on the negative side of things. It's almost like it's an art. It's almost like they're so consistently bad, the Raiders, that it's like they're working at it, like they're trying to be bad. We know they're not, but I mean, they're so bad, and they fire their coach, Dennis Allen, and who wants that job? It's the worst job in all of sports.
But they are going to contact Gruden, of course.
Of course, but he's not going to go there.
No.
Give me a break. Okay. And then also, I hate to bring this one up.
I know.
The Bucks.
Yeah.
Explain this to me.
I cannot explain this.
Explain this to me. How does Tampa Bay go to Pittsburgh and defeat the Steelers?
Every dog has a day,
I guess so. I mean, they go to Pittsburgh and defeat the Steelers with their backup quarterback. But in hindsight, and we called it from day one, Seminole, is that McCown was a mistake.
Yeah,
he's a journeyman. There's a reason he's a journeyman. You give Lovie Smith. That's great that you were friends with him up in Chicago, but and Glennon. I'm not saying Glennon's a world beater, but he's somebody you drafted to give him a chance. You know, give him a chance. He has the arm,
got the tools
in order to throw the deep ball.
Yep.
And they have one great wide receiver, which I think is safe to say, Vincent Jackson, and then they have an emerging one in Mike Evans, and then they have Jenkins the tight end. So I think, and then they got some running backs, but they needed a quarterback. And if Glennon can not turn the ball over, he gives the Bucs hope.
Yeah,
do you agree?
He's more than a serviceable quarterback. He's been sitting there watching, so now he's ready to step in.
Yeah, which I think he should have been the starter from day one. All right, Seminole Bill, When we come back, I am going to expose a fraud that's in college football.
Interesting.
Yes, I'm going to expose a fraud. It's in one of the big matchups, and boy, we have some matchups this upcoming week in college football. 3 Bama versus 11 Ole Miss, 4 Oklahoma versus 25 TCU, 15th ranked LSU traveling to 5th ranked Auburn, 6th ranked Texas A&M at Mississippi State. They're calling it the biggest football day ever in the state of Mississippi, and that's really cool.
That's good.
You know, I'm not an SEC fan at all. I think everybody knows that, but that's great. I mean, that's exciting for the conference. Big game, 14th ranked Stanford at 9th ranked Notre Dame, and for Seminole fans out there, it's a big deal. You know, I think Seminole fans would want to see Notre Dame win to stay undefeated for when they come to Tallahassee October 18th, I think it is. Yep. And then the night game, which is going to be really good. It's a fantastic matchup, and we'll get into it, is 19th ranked Nebraska at 10th ranked Michigan State.
Oh,
yeah.
good week.
Yes, very, very, especially, you know, after last week, which it just wasn't, you know, that many great matchups or anything like that. So a lot of stuff to get to. I'm going to expose the fraud. Coming up later, we have our fitness tip, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do our water check, and for those new to the show, we always do a water check to see who's drinking the most water, because you're drinking a gallon of water a day.
Yep.
And we have one member of the show by the name of Eric. Did I say his name? I didn't mean to say his name.
It's okay.
Yeah, that was wrong on my part. But
exposed.
Yeah, another fraud. We're exposing 2 frauds then. One in football and one here on the Marc Loyd Show. So we're going to get to all of that when we come back right here on the Marc Loyd Show on NBC Sports Talk 1080. The Team. Stay with us, folks.
You're the person your company, family, and friends turn to when something needs to get planned. A meeting, an out-of-town conference, sporting event, reunion, church function, or a sorority or fraternity event. What a headache. Well, there's a little secret that's gonna make your life a lot easier and make you look like a hero. Bassett Events is a professional events, conference, and meeting planning service, and they provide site selection and contract negotiation services to you at no cost. Yep, no cost. As long as your event requires at least 10 hotel rooms for 1 or more nights. You see, Bassett Events gets paid by the hotel, resort, or vendor, and they'll negotiate the best possible rates for you. Bassett Events saves you time, money, and aggravation, but still keeps you in control of the decision-making process. It's one-stop shopping, and you'll be a hero because it'll be our little secret. Bassett Events, exceeding expectations one event at a time. Call 877-7-EVENT-1, 877-7-EVENT-1, online at BassettEvents.com.
It's me, Marc Loyd. Okay, fans, Peyton Manning, LeBron James, and Andrew Luck, all number 1 picks. Now let me tell you who your number 1 pick should be when it comes to protecting your identity. Hands down, it's Rapid Pro from our great friends at Fraud Protection Network. You hear the stories daily, retailer after retailer, having their so-called secure systems being hacked into by criminals, and thousands of good folks like you instantly becoming victims of identity theft. Our amazing team at Fraud Protection Network has developed the next generation in identity theft protection. Rapid Pro, real-time identity theft protection. You get credit monitoring, lost wallet protection, and positive trigger alerts, change of address, payday cash advance, and public records monitoring as well. It's all there, friends. You get true real-time alerting, no secondhand stuff, award-winning member service support, and $25,000 service guarantee to back you up. Call Fraud Protection Network at 855-203-0683 or visit their website at fraudprotectionnetwork.com. Take it from Marc Loyd. When it comes to identity theft, the number 1 pick is Rapid Pro from Fraud Protection Network.
You're listening to The Marc Loyd Show, whether you like it or not.
Welcome back to The Marc Loyd Show here on NBC Sports Talk 1080 The Team. Good to be back on the air here in Orlando. We're brought to you by our good friends at Fraud Protection Network. Give them a call at 855-203-0683 to protect your identity today. Now, see, this is real music, Seminole Bill and Eric. Little Marilyn Manson. Does this not get you fired up? I got to admit, this is like one of the... No, there's a lot of things I liked working when I was working with World Wrestling. But this was probably my favorite thing, is the opening of the SmackDown, because that was a show that I was on. And I love the song.
Well, it's my job to wake everybody up this morning. Wait, did you say that I'm producing a famous person's show right now?
I wouldn't call it. No, not definitely not from wrestling. You know, I had a great run there and everything. Famous to that cult that follows that. Yeah, you know what I mean. But I think more fitting. Because a lot of people ask what I'm in. And you can get in contact with this. I forgot to say in this first segment. There you go. Contact us at Twitter, at Marc Loyd Show. On Facebook, The Marc Loyd Show, right?
That's right.
Also, and then you go to the website, marcloydshow.com.
Remember, it's a C and one L.
A C and one L. But one of the cool things, since my wrestling days, when I got known that, at one point I worked real quick, because a lot of people wanted to know this, what happened in between that time period, is that I did a little work with Nickelodeon, and I always wanted to work with kids. You know, I always thought it would be cool to create a kids' television program. So if everybody, whoever's out there listening, if you have a kid that goes to elementary school, I guarantee you that they know who Mr. Mark is, because I helped create a program that goes in all the elementary schools across the country called Adventure to Fitness, Seminole Bill.
That's right.
And it's very cool. Gets kids up and moving, but about 10 million kids do the program. So it's basically the #1 rated television program for kids that airs in schools across the country. Very cool.
Very nice.
So I'm everybody out there, you know, everybody knows I'm an in-your-face type person, but I'm really proud of that whole thing. And it's great that I've had a chance to be a part of that and star in it and everything like that. So I finally used all that acting school I went to early on.
You're the perfect place. You dealt with a lot of big kids in wrestling.
Yeah, that's right. I went from the big kids in wrestling. How about that?
Man,
you want to talk about how bizarre is that? From sports talk to world wrestling, a little stint in there with TNN Roller Jam, to back to creating a kids television program and starring in it. Boy.
Circle of life,
Yeah,
baby.
circle of life. You're absolutely right. Let's talk. Okay, enough about me.
I'm gonna come in there and get your autograph.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Eric. You just worry about playing quality music like that and keep on going after all. Eric's the young guy of the group here. We're all married, similar to Bill and myself. So Eric, we live vicariously through him as the Explorers Club still.
That's right.
And getting home at 3 o'clock in the morning. But that's okay. It doesn't affect the show. All right. I said we're going to expose a fraud, right?
Yes, you did.
All right. Here's the fraud, Seminole Bill. It's going to be between 3rd-ranked Alabama and 11th-ranked Ole Miss at the Grove. Game day's there. Very cool. Awesome. Alabama is a 7-point favorite. Usually Vegas is spot on to a point. I think they're way off on this. I think Ole Miss has no chance of beating Alabama. Let me tell you why.
All right.
First of all, folks, Alabama, in my opinion, is the clear-cut #1 team in the nation. Clear-cut. When Blake Sims started playing football and you said, wow, okay, he's a lot better than what everybody thought. Lane Kiffin is doing a great job from what we hear from analysts out there. You know, when he started lighting people up, and trust me, for all you Gator fans out there, you got a big dose of that, didn't you? For about 645 yards, I think it was, or something.
Amari Cooper,
but with Blake Sims now utilizing the talent that's around him, with Amari Cooper, with Yeldon, with Derrick Henry, you know, and the rest of the gang, their offense is really good. Their defense is really good. Secondary, little suspect, but you know what? Everybody has question marks this year. But still, I think Alabama is the #1 team in the country, and they're only going to get better and better because their big question mark was that quarterback. And, man, when you have a quarterback, you have a chance to win every single game. When you can light up the scoreboard, you have a chance to win. Oregon was in a national championship with that. They finally lost, but still, on the other side of the ball, Ole Miss has played, hang on. Oh, that's right. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. They struggled against Memphis. They're struggling against Memphis throughout the game. They have no quarterback. Bo Walsh, his stats, it's a fraud because they haven't played anybody. Bo Walsh is a turnover machine. Last year, all kinds of hype going up against Bama. I know it was at Alabama, but they got just completely shut down. There's so much hype around this team because of the recruiting class from 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Namichi, Treadwell,
right.
The Connor, whoever the defensive back. There's no depth there. That's another thing. As you play 4 quarters, the Bamas, the Florida States, the Oklahomas, the teams that have the numerous 5-star kids, not 1, not 3 that start and nobody behind them. Am I right?
That's right.
And so what happens, Seminole Bill, as the game hits that 3rd and 4th quarter?
Wears you down, man.
Yeah, wears you down.
Can't compete with that.
No, you cannot. And so in that instance, what you need when you go up against an Alabama is, boy, you need a signal caller. You need a guy that is a playmaker in order to compete, a la like a Nick Marshall. You need playmakers to compete against them. Why did Oklahoma, I don't care, in the Sugar Bowl last year, right, against Bama, Trevor Knight played out of his mind.
Yeah.
If Trevor Knight was throwing ducks and interceptions, do you think they're winning that game? No, of course not. But he wasn't. He was playing like famous Jameis.
Lights out.
Yeah, lights out. So, Bo Wallace is your playmaker. You have one wide receiver in Laquan Treadwell. Very good, but he would be a second choice, third choice on Alabama. Okay? Defensive-wise, they got such a great, 5 or front 7. Yeah, but there's no depth there, folks. And let me tell you something. When Alabama's offensive line starts wearing on you, right?
And they will.
Right? And then who's running that ball? How about Derrick Henry at 6'3", 240? I'm telling you, they will cover that game easily. Alabama will dominate Ole Miss. Ole Miss will be exposed as a fraud, but because of the SEC bias, right, they'll drop to 13th.
Yeah.
Just a couple notches.
Few. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you agree or disagree, Bill? You had a face. Seminole folks gave me the face of I don't know about that.
Well, now look, okay. I grew up on SEC football before I went to Florida State. I changed, kind of like The Walking Dead, I guess. Yeah. I changed when I went to 2 weeks.
2 weeks away
when I went to FSU. But I followed that. So I grew up on Bama football. But right now, what I see is they've got what they always need going for them is they got an explosive offense now, which they really didn't have as much the year before. They've got the bevy of running backs again, great receivers, and their defense is playing accordingly. If they don't give up big plays or have breakdowns, they're going to put a headlock on people.
Yeah,
and you can't catch up. Ole Miss doesn't have that explosive.
No,
just that one guy. You mentioned it.
No.
So, but what I am concerned about is Sims. I still don't. Do you
really?
Think? Yeah,
really.
I see him putting the ball up, and I'm wondering if it's.
He's throwing darts, man.
Yeah,
he's not.
He's throwing the ball
listen. See, there's a difference. There's a difference of Amari Cooper and great wide receivers just making you look great. But when Cooper's running wide open, and this guy, sometimes that's the hardest pass.
Yeah,
is the guy streaking down the field to throw it to him in stride, right? In stride. So I'm not saying that he's a Heisman contender. But what I'm saying is that he's playing really, really good.
He's playing with confidence now.
Yeah,
he didn't have that at the beginning.
No, that's for sure.
And you got a guy behind him that we know that can step in if need be and fill in.
Well, you think that, but nobody knows that yet. All right, let's move on. So they're going to get exposed as a fraud. I'm telling you, folks, right now, take that to the bank, baby. 4th-ranked Oklahoma against 25th-ranked TCU. A lot of people, consensus has Oklahoma number 1 in the country. They played at West Virginia, which was a really good win for them. They're going up against a TCU team that really hasn't played anybody at all, but they're known for their defense. They got a quarterback named Boykin that seems to do it all. He passes, but he runs an awful lot. For me, for Oklahoma, I think they have Shepard, they have the playmakers and everything. I'm still not 100%. I'm not 100% sold on Trevor Knight. I'm just not. I don't know what it is. They were doing trick plays against West Virginia. It wasn't like he was just throwing darts up and down the football field against a West Virginia defense that we know is not very good. They're just not very good. I think there's a little concern there when it comes to Oklahoma. I always hear they're the most complete team, and maybe they are. But if I see any kind of question mark at quarterback, then flags are going up, brother. Flags are going up. You're not winning championships without a quarterback that when you need him to come through consistently, he's not going to. I think Oklahoma wins the game, even though Vegas has only got the spread at 4. Wow. I know it's at TCU. That's intriguing to me.
Isn't this, forgive me, my mind, but is this their first real road test? Would be, wouldn't it?
No, they went to West Virginia.
Well, the West Virginia game.
Yeah, but at Morgantown and West Virginia, played Alabama tough. But that was early on when Blake's Alabama goes up against West Virginia now. Right. Trust me, folks. I don't like the SEC and I don't like Alabama, but you got to take off those glasses of whatever team you wear and just look and see what you're seeing. 15th ranked. How much time do we have, Eric, before break? What are we looking at? 3 minutes. Okay. 15th ranked LSU. That's enough time. Go up against 5th ranked Auburn. Seminole.
Great game.
Yeah. It's going to be a good game. However, though, I think Auburn blows them out.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. I'm not sold on Auburn, but LSU's got all kinds of. They just lost their defensive back, their key nickel defensive back. They're starting a freshman quarterback.
Right.
And And it's not like the freshman quarterback that everybody's been chanting for. I mean, he's had a chance to go out there and play a little bit. So there's nothing special going on there at LSU. There's something missing. Sometimes you lose all those guys to the NFL. And if that one or two guy doesn't develop that true freshman that you're hoping for, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Then it really makes your team take a step back. So I think Auburn, I guess when I used the word, I think they'll win by 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I guess that's not a blowout.
That's better.
You know?
I was thinking you were telling me
like 28 or something.
Yeah,
I think they win by at least I'll say at least a couple touchdowns.
All right.
You think otherwise? Is that going to be one of our games head to head?
I think that's going to be one of our
All
head-to-head
right. We got to
games.
find the spread on that game.
You
though.
need to know.
Yeah, we got to find the spread on that game. All right, last one before we go to break, and then we'll talk about the other 2 college football, and then we got to get to the NFL. Is that okay?
Fair.
Good deal. 6th ranked A&M at number 12 Mississippi State. Now here's just the opposite. I think Ole Miss is going to be a fraud. I don't think Mississippi State is, and the reason I say that is because I think they got a lot of senior kids over there. They got a solid quarterback in Prescott. Okay, A&M is good. There's a lot of look at Arkansas, what they did to their defense. I think A&M is what they are, and what they are is they have an average defense that you could light them up, but at the same time, Seminole, they have a quarterback and an offense that can light you up. So that means to me, it gives them a chance in every single game, and that's what you want. That's why I think Texas A&M has a chance to win at Mississippi State, which obviously if they're 6th ranked, then Mississippi State's 12th. But I think 12th. I think Mississippi State wins the football game. I do. I think they knock them off. Come on. A&M should never have won that game against Arkansas. Arkansas just gave it to. It's the same way. Clemson should never have lost a game against Florida State. They gave away the game. Arkansas gave away the game to Texas A&M. But I will say this. A team with confidence and a good team finds a way to win. And that's what A&M did against Arkansas. Do not take that away from them, folks. Just like the Florida State thing. Do not take that away, the victory over Clemson.
That's true.
Yeah, so that's important. All right, when we come back, Stanford, Notre Dame, Nebraska, Michigan State. We'll touch on the Gators a little bit, their game against Tennessee, plus some NFL stuff, all that coming your way right here on the Marc Loyd Show. Good to be back in Orlando here on 1080 The Team.
You're the person your company, family, and friends turn to when something needs to get planned. A meeting, an out-of-town conference, sporting event, reunion, church function, or a sorority or fraternity event. What a headache. Well, there's a little secret that's gonna make your life a lot easier and make you look like a hero. Bassett Events is a professional events, conference, and meeting planning service, and they provide site selection and contract negotiation services to you at no cost. Yep, no cost. As long as your event requires at least 10 hotel rooms for 1 or more nights. You see, Bassett Events gets paid by the hotel, resort, or vendor, and they'll negotiate the best possible rates for you. Bassett Events saves you time, money, and aggravation, but still keeps you in control of the decision-making process. It's one-stop shopping, and you'll be a hero because it'll be our little secret. Bassett Events, exceeding expectations one event at a time. Call 877-7-EVENT-1, 877-7-EVENT-1, online at BassettEvents.com.
This is Seminole Bill
And Eric,
with Bassett Promotions, producers of The Marc Loyd Show. Are you looking for ways to grow your business and reach new clients or customers?
then put your brand with a proven winner.
Outstanding advertising opportunities are available right here on The Marc Loyd Show.
Give us a call today at 877-738-3681.
That's 877-738-3681 or on the net at BassettPromotions.com, and we'll discuss ways to get your brand on the airwaves.
Right here where Orlando talks sports.
NBC Sports Talk.
1080 The Team.
It's me, Marc Loyd. You know, in football, the quarterback depends on his best offensive lineman to protect his blind side. But let me ask you a question. Who's got your back, huh? Who's protecting your identity? You hear the stories daily. Retailer after retailer having their so-called secure systems being hacked into by criminals, and thousands of good folks like you instantly becoming victims of identity theft. So, how do you keep from being sacked? Well, now we have our own version of the Steel Curtain. Our amazing team at Fraud Protection Network has developed the next generation in identity theft protection, and it's the beast, baby. Rapid Pro real-time identity theft protection. You get credit monitoring, lost wallet protection, and positive trigger alerts, change of address, payday cash advance, and public records monitoring. It's real-time alerting, no secondhand stuff. Award-winning member service support, and a $25,000 service guarantee to back you up. Call Fraud Protection Network at 855-203-0683 or visit their website at fraudprotectionnetwork.com. Take it from Marc Loyd. When it comes to identity theft, you can't afford to lose.
If you have something to add to the show, it better be as interesting as Marc Loyd.
Welcome back to the Marc Loyd Show here on NBC Sports Talk 1080 The Team. Good to be back on in Orlando. You know, I was formerly known as The Freak. Now I'm just Marc Loyd. So I'm moving up in the world. And folks, each and every week, we always like to throw out a fitness tip. But before I do that, Eric, are you there?
I'm here.
What is this playing?
It's Afrojack.
Who?
Afrojack.
DJ Afrojack?
Yes, sir.
You know what? We go from Marilyn Manson, a little House of Pain, to DJ Afrojack.
Yes, sir.
Is this what they play with the kids nowadays in the clubs?
It is. I'm trying to wake y'all up.
Yeah.
Wake up,
Look, he's even
Orlando.
talking like a DJ now.
Oh, you said Applejack.
Yeah. What? Oh, man. This is actually, you know what? When I was out in Vegas, I would see like the Wynn. Man, they would advertise this guy's playing there and everything. And I heard these guys are making like 10, 15, 20 million dollars a year being DJs. I mean, listen to this, folks. There you go. The music bed ended, but that's okay. Yeah, so they're making big bucks. DJ, can we maybe improve on that with some more music that I like instead of DJ Afrojack? Is that a problem?
You can give me another chance. I'll
Okay.
I had to wake everybody up.
Okay, yes, and you definitely did that. All right, each and every week we give you a fitness tip because here on the Marc Loyd Show, and if you remember back in the days, we always like to try to live a healthy lifestyle. I've continued doing that, so I'm going to pass along a tip to you every week. We feel it's our obligation. The first thing is you should always drink a gallon of water every single day, my good friends. We always do a water check here on the Marc Loyd Show, and we go around the room. Marc Loyd, right now, I'm sure I'm in a command. I have a commanding lead. I'm at 71 ounces on the day.
Oh, geez. Are you serious?
71 ounces this morning already. I get up early, train, drink lots of water, drink more water, go to the bathroom about 45 times, but that's okay. So I'm at 71 ounces. Similar to Bill.
Oh, good Lord. Today, only about 45.
Okay, 45. Not bad, though. For this, not bad. We got ways
Austin
to go.
will be proud.
All right, now we go to usually, I won't lie, the one disappointing member of the crew when it comes to drinking water. Eric, we're in Orlando now. So the other affiliates, they already know about your lack of water consumption. What are we at today? Come on.
Well,
Be honest.
drinking some Powerade right now, so I mean, there's water in my Powerade.
There you go. Water in the Powerade. That's a
Love to
negative.
defer to
Man,
the stuff.
and it's all your fault, some of the bill. You got to have a
I'm
talk with that guy.
trying.
I know. But it's not working. All right, here's our fitness tip. You know what? Everybody likes to lift some weights. And I was reading this. This is really cool, though. What you should do is lift the weight. In order to grow muscle quicker, lift the weight that you could do a set between 30 and 40 seconds. If you can't do that weight for 30 to 40 seconds, then it's too heavy. Because research has shown that it's the time where the muscle's under tension is at what causes the muscle to grow. I'm like to actually, that's why I read those and study those and throw those out to everybody because, you don't always know that. That's interesting. I'm going to try that philosophy a little bit too. So there you go. There's our fitness. You feel better?
Much better.
Orlando, do you feel better? Everybody else out there, do you feel better?
I just took a shot of water.
There you go. Shot of water. We inspired him. All right, let's get back talking some sports here, Seminole Bill. Before we went to break, we said we were going to talk about 14th ranked Stanford at 9th ranked Notre Dame. What a great game,
That's
huh?
a good game.
You know what time that game is?
That's a 3:30 kick.
Is it really 3:30?
Yeah.
It has like night feel to it. It should be an 8 o'clock kick, but whatever. I do think this is the best game of the day. I think both teams are, I don't want to say equally matched, but they feel that way. I don't know all the stats for each team, but you have two veteran quarterbacks in Hogan and Colston, and you have at least Stanford's defense we know is solid. Notre Dame's defense, we don't know. The jury's still out a little bit on Notre Dame because they played nobody, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't played really. Michigan now we know is a fraud. Is a joke. 31-0 means nothing. Yeah. Huh, how about that? But I think it's going to be a really good game. I think Stanford's going to come out on top in a close game. When Stanford played USC that time, down in the red zone, what were they down in the red zone? 5-7 times? Yeah. 5 or 7 times? Right. Huh? And you walk away with nothing? I don't see that continuing to happen. I really don't. In Stanford, the last couple of games, who they were supposed to blow out, they blew out and dominated.
True.
So for Notre Dame, Robinson, he needs to be the big-time playmaker for him. No doubt about that. And then for Stanford, they need to grind the ball, and they need to get Montgomery being the playmaker that he is. And the guy's a man-child out there. He's really, really good. When he catches that ball, he just runs over people. All right, let's move on. This is the night game, I think, right? 19th ranked Nebraska at Michigan State?
Yes.
All right, one heck of a game. Abdullah, the fantastic running back for Nebraska, up against Michigan State's defense, which did shut down Oregon, at least for the first half, and then they got away from them. I think Michigan State's a really good team. They're one of those teams that I would not have a problem, even at number 10, to have them drop into that top 4 playoffs. I really wouldn't. There's something about them. There's just something about them.
They got that swagger.
Yeah, they do. They have a swagger, and they didn't have a huge drop off from last year after losing all those defensive guys. So I think that's going to be a heck of a game too. The problem with Nebraska, friends, is that they're a one-dimensional team. So now you have Michigan State keying in on one thing, and that's stopping Abdullah. I don't know if they could do that, because I'm sure, there's lots of teams that try to stop just Gurley, right, for Georgia, and they can't do it. So it could be the same situation that Abdullah's just that good. No matter what you do, I'm still going to get, 150, 200 yards, right, or whatever. The guy's averaging an incredible amount. And he's breaking all kinds of records there at Nebraska, which isn't easy to do as a running back with all the great backs in the past. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on. Florida State's at Wake Forest. 40-point favorites, 39.5. What happens, Bill? What happens in this game?
Maybe.
Do they cover?
You know what? I'm going to say they do this time. For some reason,
Wake Forest is awful.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, exactly.
You know what?
That's the problem.
But.
That's the problem right there, is that you shouldn't be saying, but when it comes to playing a team like Wake Forest.
No, you can't.
But you have to.
You have to
right now. You have to right now. And that's Florida. It's not who's going to win the game. It's not how many points Florida State's going to score. It's you want to see the defense dominate somebody for confidence. Right. Not that you could go, oh, yeah, we shut down Wake Forest. You just want to see them dominate a team just for their own confidence, no matter who it is, and Wake Forest just happens to be the opponent.
They've got, I want to say, a 30th ranked defense in some category. I mean, they're not. They always have a scrappy, chippy team.
Wake Forest.
That's the way they are. And they're a scrappy, chippy team.
All right. But, now you sound like the people with the SEC talking about the lower tier teams, how good they are.
I'm not going to whiffle off. We need to go out there and take them to the. We need to spank them.
I love that. And that's why you're called Seminole Bill, dropping the "we" just then. All right, the Gators at Tennessee. Gators the line came out originally out of Vegas, Florida favored, and now Tennessee's favored. Tennessee rebuilding, whatever you want to call it, young team, blah, blah, blah. Did take Georgia, but how good is Georgia? I said from the very beginning, at the beginning of the year, I love Aaron Murray's the greatest. Aaron Murray's the greatest. Aaron Murray's gone. Okay, no big deal. We have Hudson Mason. Well, hang on. You just don't replace Aaron Murray just like that. No. There's a reason the kid's a fifth-year senior or whatever. Right. He can never crack the lineup. So Tennessee at Florida, isn't it a shame? Game means nothing.
Sad. That used to
means nothing.
That's one that when you were sitting there at one
was an
game,
appointment
you'd be
setting.
Listening to that other game.
Very good.
You know what I'm saying?
It was an appointment-setting game. Now it means nothing. Florida is just terrible. And just terrible all over the place. Defense got scorched against Alabama. Their offense, Driscoll couldn't lead a high school football team.
Yeah.
His best days were in high school. I mean, the playmakers, I don't know if they had. It's like where playmakers go to die right now because they still get the 4-star kids. And once in a while, 5-star kid on offense, but they just go to disappear.
How sick do you have to be to watch what the North Carolina State quarterback was doing to FSU if you're sitting
Jacoby
there?
Brissett. Yeah,
Brissett. I mean, he's just killing us.
Yeah, yeah. You're absolutely right. All right. College football jam-packed. It's appointment setting from noon all the way until midnight tonight, which is great. Eric, how much time we have before we go to break? Can I get into the NFL at all? All right. Okay. All right. We got a couple minutes, Bill.
All right.
You know what? Let's jump to the NFL, and then we'll get into it more. Plus, we have our picks coming up, folks. And you could hit us up at Twitter, at Marc Loyd Show, via Twitter. Follow along. We'll tweet with you and everything. That's how you get in contact with us. Also, Facebook.
Yep.
Right? Marc Loyd Show.
Marc Loyd Show.
And website, marcloydshow.com.
You got it.
Yes. And also, is there anything else? Is that all of them?
You got all three.
Yeah, okay. I got all three. Hey, how about that? Finally. I'm always getting yelled at going, God, Mark, can't you get all three of those right? In the NFL, there's some magic. I said it last week. I said it last week. There's some magic brewing in a few teams out there that I will be the first to admit did not see coming. Did not see coming. And then it was a good week for Marc Loyd as I talk in a third person. Another thing I learned from wrestling.
Yes.
Always talking in a third person. But my Super Bowl prediction finally showed up and played a good game. And I love what the guy said. RELAX. Relax. That was Aaron Rodgers. That was great. And then also, there's some teams I think that there's one team out there that it kind of makes you sad a little bit. And they were always a great team, but right now they look sad. And then there's some big question marks and some must-win games for several NFL teams. I know it's early on in the season, folks, but you look at the percentages. When you start going to 1-3, 1-5, or 1-4, any of those things, it's really hard to make the playoffs, and it's really hard to win home field advantage. And I think a lot of people know who I'm talking about. All right, when we come back on the Marc Loyd Show, we will get into those teams where magic is happening, and maybe not so much. Plus, we'll have our locks on the week that you can take straight to the bank, my friends. And as always, similar to Bill and myself, we will go head to head. So stay with us right here on the Marc Loyd Show on NBC Sports Talk 1080, The Team. It's good to be back in Orlando, Seminole Bill.
Loving it.
Stay with us.
You're the person your company, family, and friends turn to when something needs to get planned. A meeting, an out-of-town conference, sporting event, reunion, church function, or a sorority or fraternity event. What a headache. Well, there's a little secret that's gonna make your life a lot easier and make you look like a hero. Bassett Events is a professional events, conference, and meeting planning service, and they provide site selection and contract negotiation services to you at no cost. Yep, no cost. As long as your event requires at least 10 hotel rooms for one or more nights. You see, Bassett Events gets paid by the hotel, resort, or vendor, and they'll negotiate the best possible rates for you. Bassett Events saves you time, money, and aggravation, but still keeps you in control of the decision-making process. It's one-stop shopping, and you'll be a hero because it'll be our little secret. Bassett Events, exceeding expectations one event at a time. Call 877-7-EVENT-1, 877-7-EVENT-1, online at BassettEvents.com.
It's me, Marc Loyd. Okay, fans, Peyton Manning, LeBron James, and Andrew Luck, all number one picks. Now let me tell you who your number one pick should be when it comes to protecting your identity. Hands down, it's Rapid Pro from our great friends at Fraud Protection Network. You hear the stories daily, retailer after retailer, having their so-called secure systems being hacked into by criminals, and thousands of good folks like you instantly becoming victims of identity theft. Our amazing team at Fraud Protection Network has developed the next generation in identity theft protection. Rapid Pro, real-time identity theft protection. You get credit monitoring, lost wallet protection, and positive trigger alerts, change of address, payday cash advance, and public records monitoring as well. It's all there, friends. You get true real-time alerting, no secondhand stuff, award-winning member service support, and $25,000 service guarantee to back you up. Call Fraud Protection Network at 855-203-0683 or visit their website at fraudprotectionnetwork.com. Take it from Marc Loyd. When it comes to identity theft, the number one pick is Rapid Pro from Fraud Protection Network.
There are two words that every woman needs to hear from her man. Marc Loyd.
Welcome back to the Marc Loyd Show. What is this?
Eardrummers, no flex zone.
Who?
No flex zone.
No Flex Zone. Someone will build. Do you know who they are? The Ear Drummers?
Oh, God.
The Ear Drummers?
Yes, sir.
That's what they're called?
That is what they're called.
So it's just a lot of bass. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'm shaking the studio right now.
Yeah, you are. I see the window is shaking. We're going to have to shake you a little bit, my friend. You came out strong on the out music with the new Radicals, and now we're back to this garbage. We're going to have a talk.
Hey, I like how the subwoofers sound in here.
Yeah, the subwoofer. All right. Welcome back to the Marc Loyd Show. You could hook up with us on Twitter at Marc Loyd Show, also Facebook Marc Loyd Show, and online. Go to the website marcloydshow.com, and that's where, if you miss any of the show, the podcast goes up and you're able to replay it, right, Seminole?
That's correct. Hit the audio records.
All right. So we want to talk a little bit about the NFL, but before we do that, let's tell everybody about Fraud Protection Network. Great sponsor of the show. We love the folks over there and their Rapid Pro real-time identity theft protection program. You got to go with it. Give them a call, 855-203-0683. Good stuff, right? Someone will bill your signed up. Yes.
Get protected.
Yeah, very cool. Or you can visit the website at fraudprotectionnetwork.com.
There you go.
Go over there and tell Marc Loyd sent you. All right, let's talk some NFL. You ready, Seminole?
I'm ready.
You ready before our picks, too?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people are waiting.
I know.
NFL, where is the magic happening? What do you think? Okay, I have 3 teams where I think the magic is happening. I'm going to give you 3 guesses. Quick. 3 guesses. Let me hold up a schedule for you. All right, just look at the teams. That way you have them in front of you. 3 guesses. Can you see that?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Where the magic is happening?
Yeah, where I think the magic is happening. And it's not like on Cribs. Here, this is where the magic is happening.
Let me see that.
Hurry.
I'm going to tell you right now.
We don't have all day.
Well, hey, how about San Francisco?
No magic is happening there yet. No. They just had their first.
But wasn't that your team?
No, but that magic's not happening there yet.
Okay. Well,
magic is surprises and a little bit, about how the team is playing.
Well,
come on.
See me, I'm still stuck with Seattle.
Okay, so no, Seattle is a given. There's no magic happening. There's always magic there.
Are you talking about people that shouldn't be there?
There you go.
I'm sorry. I'm catching up my Seminole education.
Is that music still playing? No, thank goodness. I was going to move that up. All right, go ahead.
Well, maybe.
Okay, give me that paper back.
You
give me that. No, where the magic is happening is in Dallas.
Oh,
come on,
Romoville.
Well, with Romo and Murray and the offensive line and the 3 first-round draft picks on the offensive line that are living up to the billing. And they are playing some good football. I completely did not see that coming.
Yeah,
I'm not saying, they're above 500, woohoo, which is a big deal for them. But they're really playing well. They don't look like a team that, we won last night, and that's all that matters. They look like a team that's winning with confidence. They're winning being very balanced. Romo gets better every week, his back, which is a good thing for him.
Correct.
So they're continuing to get better and better. And this week they got a big test coming up when they take on Houston. Houston, with the incredible defense that they have, led by J.J. Watt, up against Tony Romo. And this is where the offensive line it needs to really shine. And one thing with Dallas, as they dominated the Saints last week, is that when you have another team that scores, not that it's Houston, is you keep Drew Brees off the field. Yeah. And what do? You run the ball. Yeah. And then you drop the pass. Then you drop back and throw the ball a little bit, not just Romo back 60 times a game. And the defense is dramatically improved. So Dallas, there's some magic happening there. There's no doubt about it. Another team, hey, let's be honest, folks. We left them for dead, the Giants. Left them for dead. DEAD. Now they are scoring touchdowns. Now the offense is clicking. It really is. All the quick passes, Eli not throwing 7 interceptions a game, and the team's on a roll right now. And they're playing with confidence. And if there's ever been a team in the NFL that you never count out, it has to be the Giants. Let's be honest, the years they went to the Super Bowl and won, first of all, who thought they were going to make the playoffs? Not I.
No.
Tell me one person that thought they were going to beat the Patriots that year. Not I. Nobody. Okay. One other team that people had high expectations for, and they are playing with the magic, though. And that's the Detroit Lions. And the reason I say that, Seminole, we know their defense, right?
Yeah.
You said it from the very beginning. Defense is outstanding.
Beast.
Yeah. Up front 7, just fantastic. Very good. Okay. Offense, weapons, Bush, best wide receiver in Calvin Johnson. Ebron. The tight end. I don't know. So Matthew Stafford, he's one of those, Jay Cutler type guys. All the talent in the world, great quarterback, however, doesn't always think. His arm is, I could throw it in anywhere. And what was Stafford's problem? Stafford, three touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And that doesn't cut it in the NFL. You can't win turning the ball over. You just can't. Yeah. Caldwell comes in, for the Lions. And he is, it's pretty fascinating of watching Matthew Stafford now play within the system and not turning the ball over. And Detroit looks really, really good.
They've got the ingredients, like you said before, but they weren't putting it together before.
Well, I think Matthew Stafford is the problem and the solution.
Right.
And the solution is for him just not to turn the ball over. Utilize the tools around him and don't turn the ball over, and good things are happening. Yeah. So those are my 3 teams. Dallas, the Giants, and Detroit. Magic is happening. Where it's not happening. Where I mentioned that I feel bad, believe it or not. I don't know how I could feel bad for a guy that's won 3 Super Bowls, but I feel bad for Tom Brady. I really do. My brother, you, Seminole Bill, a lot of guys, we're always talking sports and everything. And it's bizarre. For the life of me, nobody has an answer of why they don't put weapons around Tom Brady. It's somebody used an analogy. It's like you have a Tesla or a Lamborghini in the garage, but you don't want to put any gas in it, or you limit him to the neighborhood. You can't take it out of the neighborhood. You know what I mean? And it's just strange, man. They have drafted terribly for wide receivers. You have Gronkowski. That's a shell of what he used to be. Maybe he'll get better. There's no wide. Don't tell me Brandon LaFell. And if I'm a Patriot fan, what really bothers me is that when you finally did get Tom Brady, an elite wide receiver like Randy Moss, what happened, Seminole?
Wasn't there very long, was he?
No, that's true. He wasn't there very long, but he broke every record imaginable.
He was great.
I mean, it was just incredible. And that's the year they went undefeated.
Yeah, so that's what doesn't make sense to me either. Like we said before, is why do you have you shop that thing in there like that? And then you for whatever reason you just you
don't give them anything. No. And every time you draft everything, you do anything good, you do for the defense.
Yeah.
Nothing for Brady. The offensive line is in shambles. You trade his best offensive lineman Mankin away, so he has nobody. And I'm this baffled. And even who said it? I was shocked that they said something that there was like a dirty secret or a dark rumor or something that maybe it was Trent Dilfer. Don't quote me on that, but somebody said it that it's like the Patriots are just happy to make the playoffs each year and go as far as they can like that. Not necessarily interested in the Super Bowl because they're selling seats, they're filling out the stadium, and everybody's happy because they're making money. I find that hard to believe, but it was interesting that somebody said that on ESPN.
Yeah,
so
why?
I don't know, but I'd like somebody to tell me why he never has any weapons. And it's sad. It really is, because Tom Brady is just a fantastic quarterback with nobody to throw to now. Another team that it's not that it's not happening, but I think they got real issues, and it's a Super Bowl favorite, and they're in a must-win game, and that is the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, they're having trouble.
They got big trouble right now, Seminole. Their defense is just, I don't know. You talk about a roller coaster, man. Last year fantastic. This year they're just awful. Just awful. And when you do that, the teams keep Drew Brees and the gang off the field, and they can't score. So the Saints have some real issues because they can't win on the road. There's no doubt about it. They need to have home field advantage for the playoffs, and it's not looking good for them right now. Who do they play this week? They get Tampa.
Yeah.
So good for them, they get Tampa. Yeah. But you never know. Obviously, you being a Steeler fan knows that. All right, here's some other big games this week. Then we got to get to our picks, okay?
Right.
Do not let me run out of time. You could chime in via Twitter at Marc Loyd Show. Also, visit us on Facebook, Marc Loyd Show, and the website, marcloydshow.com. That's with a C and one L. Atlanta at the Giants. Desperate game for Atlanta.
Yeah.
And they're decimated once again with injuries, and I think the Giants continue to roll. I really do. Do you like the Giants at home? This is not our picks. I'm just asking your opinion.
But see, this is where I'm saying, when I'm talking a little bit of magic, these guys right here, they have it. They have the talent.
There's no doubt.
All right.
There's no doubt they have talent, but they're missing. Their defense isn't playing well.
The defense hasn't been playing well.
No,
right.
the defense isn't playing well at all. If you're a Seminole fan, Antoine Smith is the second coming of Barry Sanders out there sometimes. Yeah, it really is. Do you think Atlanta's going to go and beat the Giants?
I do. That's just my opinion this week.
Okay, all right. No, that's good. That's why you're on the radio, so we can have your opinion. Houston at Dallas, I think, is a great game. I don't think Houston's offense is anything, exciting because of Fitzpatrick back there and that crazy old beard that he has going on. The defense, though, is suffocating at times.
Yeah.
And they're really good. But I think Dallas is going to handle them. I really do. I think Dallas wins again at Jerry World again. And that's a big win for that football team.
That's bragging rights for Texas, man.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Arizona at Denver. Great game. Great game on paper. I don't think Arizona hangs with Denver. Arizona's defense is good. I know they beat the Niners, but Arizona does not have a quarterback right now. Yeah. It's just not. Denver, they're going to mop them up. I know the spread is I think it was 7.5, which is kind of low. Yeah. But I think Denver wins that game handily, kind of puts Arizona back in their place a little bit. We realize that Arizona victory over did they beat they beat the Chargers this year, right?
Do you know?
Yeah, they beat the Chargers this year, which was a quality win. They beat San Fran too, but I think San Fran was kind of like shaky. We'll see how San Fran continues to go on, and they take on KC. KC comes to San Fran. Kansas City looked like world beaters the other night against New England on Monday night. Did they not?
They were tough, man.
Yeah. They looked with a different quarterback. I know people will laugh, but if they had like a Tom Brady over there, man, that team is unstoppable. Unstoppable. Running backs, defense, and guess what? Their defense is minus their 3 best players. Eric Berry's coming back, but the other 2 aren't. You know what I mean? So that's really impressive what Andy Reid is doing there. Last one. Cincinnati at New England.
Ooh, yeah.
New England's hurting, man.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati arguably is the best team in the NFL.
They
At least
really
during the regular
playing.
season, they're one of the best teams. Come playoff, Andy Dalton goes away. But still, but during the season, Cincinnati is a fantastic team. So that could be a blowout at New England, and that could be like the beginning of the end for New England. There's no doubt about that. All right, let me do the locks real quick. Similar Bill, take these to the bank, my good friend. Take them to the bank. You ready?
Ready.
Lay to 7 points. Take Bama minus the 7 against Ole Miss. Are you writing that down?
I got you.
Are you calling the bookie right now?
No.
No, not yet.
Bookie.
Okay. Huh? What?
Huh?
What? Also, I love the Eagles at home against St. Louis. I think the Eagles dominate the game. They're laying 7. Take the Eagles laying the 7. All right? On the year, I'm 2-2. So I'm 500, so we're losing the juice, which isn't good. So we need to go 2-0 this week on the locks.
No.
All right, you ready to go head-to-head? We're even still. That's amazing, Bill.
We're riding it.
Yeah, we're still even going head-to-head. We pick 2 games every week, folks. We do a professional game, an NFL game. I should say professional. An NFL and a college game. Similar to Bill and I go head-to-head. Arizona at the Niners. The Niners are minus 6. No, that's wrong. That was – no, it's not. Who's Kansas City at the Niners is what I have. Sorry, I put Arizona. What's that spread? Is the spread 6.5? Look that up. Do you see that anywhere? Because I wrote down the wrong team. Oh, well. Whatever. The Niners in Arizona. The Kansas City at San Francisco. Kansas City at San Francisco. What do you think?
I think for, this.
I'm pretty sure it's 6.5. I say lay the points.
I think you're right.
I say lay the points.
Yeah. I think you're on track with that. It's going to be a tight game.
Yes, Kansas City at San Francisco, minus 6.5, I think is what the spread is. So I'll take San Fran laying the points. You agree?
I'll agree with you.
Okay, all right. Here's the one. LSU at Auburn. Auburn's minus 7. You think LSU is going to stay close?
Yes, I do for some reason think that's going to happen.
Do you really?
I really do.
There we go. We will agree to disagree, my friend. No way. LSU does not cover the 7.
I think the
Auburn wins by 14 or more points.
The Hats got something from it.
What a great weekend it's going to be. Similar, Bill, we want to thank everybody out there for listening to the show today. It's good to be back in Orlando. I was here between, I think, 95 and 2002 through my college days and then and started my professional life, really, in entertainment, which is very cool. So it's good for me to be back on in Orlando and then being one of our affiliates on the Marc Loyd Show, right, Simon?
Very happy about that.
Yes, and what a great day it's going to be in college football. Are you going to appointment setting TV, right?
Watching all day.
Noon to midnight. Eric, what are you doing? Noon to midnight. College football all day?
On Saturday, but I am so excited for The Walking Dead, man. I know it's next weekend, but I am excited.
That's right. The Walking Dead is this Sunday. This Sunday is Homeland on Showtime, which is a great series. And I picked out my Halloween costume, too. I got to go to a couple Halloween parties.
Are you going as your brother?
No, I'm not going as my brother. No, I picked out a couple Halloween costumes. I'll share with everybody next week what I'm going to go as. from one of my favorite TV shows. I've never done that before. Usually it's a last minute thing, but this year my wife and I said, you know what, let's be proactive. Let's be proactive. All right. Thanks for hanging with us, folks. Tune in next week, each and every week, right here on NBC Sports Talk 1080 The Team. You can catch the Marc Loyd Show. We come at you each and every week at 10 o'clock. Thanks, Orlando. We will talk to you next week. See ya.